greatest country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
All right. What is going on, America? Welcome to what is going to be a groundbreaking episode and not what I thought we were going to talk about. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that today we were going to, I thought we were going to talk about JD Vance, and we are. But the biggest thing that we're talking about is, the Secret Service thing gets worse and worse and worse. The more and more it goes, it becomes obvious this was an inside job, and this absolutely was a known attempt on President Trump's life. And then two, I said it, and I have kept saying it, and I've had so many people tell me that I'm wrong. Joe Biden is out of this race. It is, in my opinion, it is not even up for debate at this point. Donald Trump had a 0.05% chance of surviving his assassination attempt. President Biden has a 99.95% chance that he will not be on the ballot in November. It is absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and bring everybody in that's here.
I'm awake.
Everybody, good morning.
Everybody's here. Oh, you're awake. Okay. Anyway, you poor babies. The comfort of your studios and your homes. Anyway,
whatever. Look at that soft couch you're sitting on over there.
Couch.
It actually is
peasants.
awkward. It's awkward for me because I'm so used to sitting to the desk. Like I don't know what to do in my
You got
hands.
all this space now.
Grandma, I keep noticing. I keep
got a whole
noticing that
couch.
you keep doing that thing with your hands, like Trump now. It's like
Well,
you're-
because
like
I've
you're
got this
imitating.
mic in my face, and so I'm trying not to like hit the mic. And so anyway, all right. First of all, let's get this going right now. Let's go ahead and comment in the chat for those of you that watched. How do we feel about JD Vance's speech? Did you love it? Comment yes or no in the chat. Let's go ahead and get the chat blowing up right now. And if you think Biden is going to drop out within the next, I think it's within the next couple of days. That's where I'm at. I put a poll up this morning on Twitter. Do you think he's got hours, days, or weeks? I think you're looking at days. And comment yes if you think Biden is going to drop out in the chat. I want to see the chat blow up. Let's go ahead and get business out of the way. Make sure to hit the like button. I feel like we shouldn't have to say that, but we do every time anyway. Make sure to hit the like button. The more you hit the like button, the more people see it, the more people hear the truth. Make sure to hit the follow button if this is your first time watching this show. We have a jam-packed episode for you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and get into our sponsors real quick. Todd, take it away so we can get to the news.
All right, let's start with our friends Birch Gold. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is a very common sense reason why gold is pushing to an all-time high right now. Number one, the cost of goods continue to rise. Inflation continues to increase. Since January of 21, the cost of living is up over 17.9%. The national debt continues to skyrocket, and with an impending presidential election year that will have massive implications on the future of this country, it all adds up to instability and uncertainty. And that is why so many Americans are turning to the Birch Gold Group. Have you diversified your savings yet? Secure a portion of them with gold from Birch Gold. All you have to do is text the word Graham, that's GRAHAM, to 989898 now. They're going to call you. They're going to get your address, your information. They're going to send you a free info kit. Guys, stop waiting around. All you got to do is text the word Graham, GRAHAM, to 989898 now. Our next friends with Patriot Mobile. Why are you still going with woke cell phone companies? Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Since 2013, Patriot Mobile has given Americans a conservative alternative for their cell phone service by providing dependable nationwide coverage on all 4G and 5G networks and exceptional U.S.-based customer support. Patriot Mobile gives a portion of every dollar earned to support organizations that align with our four pillars of giving: the First Amendment, Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and supporting military, veterans, and first responders. They also have this new feature called Patriot Mobile One. Doesn't matter if you're within Verizon areas or AT&T, the phone will switch. I've never even heard of this kind of witchcraft, but they have it. All you have to do is go to patriotmobile.com/Graham. That is patriotmobile.com/Graham.
Everybody needs to make sure that they go and support them. They're freedom-loving Americans, and if I keep doing the Trump thing like this, I'm going to embody the man.
Yes,
they keep this show free. Well, the thing is it's right here, and so I can only do so. You should see me trying to drink the water. I'm like trying to do this angle here. All right. Anyway, so make sure to support our sponsors. They keep us free. But we got so many things to talk about. We're going to jump into it right now. Remember when I said yesterday that we have an amazing opportunity as Christians to acknowledge that we saw an act of God? Well, yesterday, Donald Trump, I believe this was at the premiere of a movie that he made a stop at. He even acknowledges himself. I believe that Donald Trump has had literally a come to Jesus moment, if you will. And I don't know how you can't. And we're not going to play this whole thing, but at the very beginning, you'll hear the chants of fight, fight, fight. And Donald Trump acknowledges the fact that God was with him. And I just think it's very powerful. So we're going to show this real quick, and then we're going to get into our best moments from last night. Play it.
God was with me, I tell you.
God is with me. I agree 100%, Mr. President, 100%. All right. So, again, I think churches are missing a big opportunity. I did a couple of interviews with Flashpoint and things like that, some Christian networks that were here, and just pushed that all across the board. I think Christians are really missing an opportunity there. But I digress. All right. Let's get into the best moments from last night. Now, for those of you who may not remember who these guys are, these were the young men that during the whole Palestine riots on campuses and all this other kind of stuff, they were the guys that were holding up the flag, refusing for it to hit the ground. Do you guys remember that image?
Yeah, like they were throwing bottles at them, all kind of stuff.
And these dudes were having none of it. And so this was a really cool moment. They invited them to come here and make a speech here. And I'll say this. For all the college indoctrination and everything like that, one, if you support these young men, comment just an American flag in 100%. The chat. But two, I will say that dads and moms, raise your kids to be like this young man. Play the clip.
When a mob tried to take down the American flag on our campus, we knew we couldn't let that happen. We stood guard, we held it up, and we did not let it fall. It was all about respect, not just for the cloth, but for everything that the flag stands for.
Yep.
Too many people have sacrificed everything for it. The least we can do was keep it flying. And tonight, we are proud to honor our flag again.
Great moment,
just
obviously.
Pockets.
I love when he pockets
the mic.
Just put it right in the back like a pro.
What he missed was he should have flipped it and then
he
pocketed
should have
it.
like twirled it.
He did.
Like
spun
a
it.
holster.
He's just straight wide earth that
He could have
thing.
just dropped it and the mic drop. Boom.
So not a professional speaker, but a professional American. Let's call it
100%,
that young man.
100%.
Raise your kids to be like those young men right there. Okay, this next moment is this is Bill Peckrell, I think is how you pronounce his name. This is a 98-year-old World War II stormed the beaches of Normandy veteran. Okay, this is a man's man. This is a man. You want to talk about a dude that you know for real? Like, this dude is a hardcore American, a hardcore alpha male. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. This man, who is more coherent than Joe Biden would ever be, by the way, I will say.
Yeah.
This veteran is giving a speech about what he fought for and what saddens him about today. And in my opinion, this stole the show. It's up for debate whether it was him or Don Jr.'s daughter, but we'll get into it in a minute. But there's this point where he basically says, and if those of you who haven't seen this, or those of you who it might be hard for you to hear, this 98-year-old World War II veteran says in this clip that if President Trump is president again and they need him, he will re-enlist and storm whatever beach Donald Trump tells him to. Play the clip.
And President Trump, back as Commander-in-Chief, I would go back to re-enlist today.
That's great.
Can we give it up in the chat for that veteran right now?
That's
Can we comment a
amazing.
bunch of American flags for that veteran right this second? You want to talk about a man's man American right there. And then to be 98 years old and still have like that oomph about you where you're like, I'm telling you right now, I'm 98, but I will whoop your butt. You know what I'm
I can
saying?
still throw
Like,
down.
I can shoot a rifle and I will end you kind of thing. I thought it was an amazing moment. I see the chat blowing up right now. Every single person in this chat better put an American flag in the chat for that World War II veteran, because if anybody deserves it, they
That's
deserve
a
it.
fact.
So, all right, moving on through the, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say, Mr. Bill there, he is one of the reasons why I am so proud to be an American. The sacrifices that him and his, I mean, he talked about his friends that he lost on the battlefield and whatnot. You can see the emotion in his voice.
Oh, yeah,
when he was
still
talking
choked
about
up about it, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. And I just want to say thank you to him and his family for the sacrifices. To you, Graham and Todd, you guys were in the service as well. And to all of our service members, past, present, and future, that are going to be in our military. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys have done for us.
Yeah, and Graham can agree with me on this. I know from wearing a uniform, that's the difference between a lot of us veterans and stuff, is while you're wearing the uniform, you have your fingers on the pulse of leadership. And you can tell the difference in leadership from the top as it varies
Absolutely.
from president to president to president. So when this man says, I'll re-enlist right now if President Trump's getting elected, he means that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he means that if he could, if he was physically able to, that he would. And I can completely identify with that. I would not put a uniform on right now if I made $1 million a year. Now, come November, if things change, different story. But
Hey, man,
as a member of the
never know.
military, I know, as a member of the military, you
Can we
always
get rid
have
of
your
the beard
pulse on it.
rule? If we get rid
Yeah,
of this
yeah,
beard
they'd
rule,
have
I might
to
do
check
it.
that.
I
Look,
might
if
do
you
it.
can wear a burqa in a uniform, you can wear a beard. I'm just
Exactly,
saying.
yeah. I need
I'm
to
just
get rid
saying.
of that beard rule. Yeah, I need to get rid of that.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
All right. We got a lot to talk about, guys. So, Mr. Bill, well, we love you, sir. Thank you for everything
Absolutely.
that you've done. What an amazing
100%.
moment.
Yep.
100%.
Okay, and so Don Jr. is supposed to come out, and Don Jr. comes out and does something that has never been seen in the history of America. And I'm doing this intentionally now for the Trump thing, because this was Don. He's like, I'm about to start this speech by doing something that a Trump has never done, and that is give up the microphone.
That was hilarious.
The caveat to that was he was giving it up to another Trump. But either way, Donald Trump Jr.'s 17-year-old daughter, Kai, and this, of course, is the eldest granddaughter to President Trump. She comes out and you know, again, let's put this in the context, because there was some people giving her some crap. And so I want to talk about this right here. Most of you have trouble speaking in your Bible study, you know, in front of five
For
people.
real.
Okay, this is her first speaking event. She's 17 years old, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
And
It's not
millions
easy.
at home.
Yeah. It's not easy. All right. And so I thought she did a great job. It was such a strategic move on the Trump team's part, because what better way to show that Donald Trump is not this man that the lying media is trying to make him to be. Now, is he a pit bull New Yorker? Absolutely. There is no denying that. Donald Trump has been irritated with me a couple times, all right? And so there is no denying that he is that way, but he is also a dad. He's also a grandfather. And this was an amazing moment. You can tell Laura Trump had her hand on this, you know, in the planning of this right here. But here's Kai. Let's give some love up for Kai. This was like her introduction to the world, I feel like, moment. But either way, let's play the clip.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kai Madison Trump. I am the granddaughter of Donald Trump. I'm speaking today to share the side of my grandpa that people don't often see. To me, he's just a normal grandpa. He gives us candy and soda when our parents
you
aren't
can tell
looking.
he's just so like
He
he's
always
just
wants to
admiring
know
the
how we're
moment.
doing in school. When I made the high honor roll, he printed it out to show his friends how proud he was of me.
I know.
He calls me during the middle of the school day to ask how my golf game is going and tells me all about his.
Pause.
But then
Real quick. Isn't that just such a Donald Trump thing to do? One, that's a grandpa thing to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, you're in school?
You're in school?
My bad, I forgot.
I'd tell the teacher you need a break.
Donald Trump is like, I'm the president. Like, I don't care if you're in school. Like, I'll call it. I just think that's such a Donald Trump thing to do.
By the way, how's the golf game?
Yeah. By the way, I did better than you.
Yeah, but imagine being in school and you step out and they're like, "Well, where are you going?" And you're like, "The president."
The president's calling.
And
the
you just walk
president's
away.
on the
That's
phone.
pretty sad.
All right, play it.
To remind him that I'm in school and I'll have to call him back later. When we play golf together, if I'm not on his team, he'll try to get inside of my head. I know. And he's always surprised that I don't let him get to me. But I have to remind him I'm a Trump too.
that was
Look
good.
at him, man.
That was very
you
good.
just tell. Look at him. He's like, yeah.
Even when he's going through all these court cases, he always asks me how I'm doing. He always encourages me to push myself to be the most successful person I can be. Obviously, he sets the bar pretty high, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll catch him. On Saturday, I was shocked when I heard that he has been shot, and I just wanted to know if he was okay. It was heartbreaking that someone would do that to another person. A lot of people have put my grandpa through hell, and he's still standing.
Boom. That was the moment right there. Look at him.
Grandpa, you are such an inspiration, and I love you.
There you go.
The media makes my grandpa seem like a different person, but I know him for who he is.
There you go.
He's very caring and loving. He truly wants the best for this country, and he will fight every single day to make America great again.
Boom.
Thank you very much.
All right, great job, Kai. Let's give some love for Kai Trump in the chat right there. And then right after that, Don Jr. comes on, and I thought Don Jr.'s speech was different than what I thought it was going to be because he really brought some insight of, you know, he's always admired his dad. He's always thought his dad was tough until the assassination attempt, and that was something me and him talked about Tuesday night. Was, you know, I always knew my dad was tough, but you never know how people are going to react when the bullets start flying, right? I mean, you just never know. And this is him deeming a new phrase that I think will be on some signs very soon, probably at the rally in Michigan Saturday. Yeah.
Before you play this clip, I wanted to get your thought, because I commented last night on Kai's speech that I think she I think single-handedly might have persuaded some of the suburban housewives to actually see Trump in a different light, almost like persuade him to come over to our side over here for the vote. I just want to get your thoughts on it, because, you know, we were chatting about it last night, but I wanted to see what you think about it.
I think so. I mean, I think to an extent, I think it's less what she said and more about that she did it. And what I mean by that is, I mean, I want people to think right now, if you've got a 17-year-old kid or a 17-year-old granddaughter or grandchild, and think about like you are the most attacked person in America. Someone just tried to assassinate you, and 4 days later, your 17-year-old grandchild or child is going to get up on a stage in front of tens of thousands of people to go defend you. You know what I'm saying? Like, really think about that, and think about it. Would your children do that? I got to be honest with you. If I just took a bullet to the face, I don't know if my kids are getting up on that stage right now.
I don't know if they're coming to Milwaukee, period.
Correct.
Just saying.
And the fact that John Jr. points out the fact that she approached him and said, hey, I want to go on stage and tell people about my grandpa and what they're getting wrong. You know what I mean? And tell them. I think it's more about that she did it more than about what she said. But that's just me. So yes, I agree. Maybe it swayed some people, but I think it just more affirms the people that are already on Trump's side or shifting already. But here is Don Jr. doing what Don Jr. does best. Again, I think you're going to see some new signs with some new wordings on it very quickly. And when he says the line, I want you to comment it in the chat, and let's blow the chat up.
If you watched with us last night, you already know what those lines are.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it. Let's do it.
We will fight. We will fight with our voices. We will fight with our ideas. And on November 5th, we will fight with our vote.
There's your standard politician line. Now here comes the real one.
Yeah.
I've always been proud of him, but I've never been prouder of my father than I was in that moment. That's when the world found out that there is tough, and then there's Trump tough.
Boom. There it is. There will be Trump tough signs at every
Everywhere.
single rally moving forward. So comment Trump tough
And the good
in
news
the chat.
is America is Trump tough.
Tough. Great moment. The energy in the crowd was crazy at this point. And it was a great moment. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, I don't know what's going on with Van Jones. I don't know if he's found Jesus or the
He's
Lord.
going through something, man.
Miss Cleo got a hold of him.
He's working through some feelings right now, but Van Jones has given us two of the best highlight reels of the day yesterday. And this was him talking about Kai Trump speech and what it means. Play the clip. This is killer right here.
The granddaughter came out and opened up our hearts, and the son just hit us upside the head with a baseball bat. So I'm not quite sure which way they're going. But that young lady she did her job of warming him up, humanizing him, making people feel that they could actually like this guy. The son came out, and it was the opposite effect. Very effective for the base, frightening for Democrats.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
man, he's probably just like, man, I give up. I'm done.
All right,
I
all
give
right.
up.
And before we move on, since he brought up Democrats, Politico is reporting yesterday that this is verified information, that it is an absolute meltdown, panic, destroy everything, incendiary grenades everywhere. Like the Democrat Party is in absolute just disarray right this second. And we're going to get into that here, but we got to talk about JD Vance. Okay. Yet last night was honestly for a lot of people. Okay. Let's be honest here. How many of us have truly studied JD Vance, even as senator race and everything goes along? There's a lot of people who just didn't know who JD Vance was. This is him officially accepting the nomination to be the vice presidential nominee. So here we go right here.
And so tonight, Mr. Chairman, I stand here humbled, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Everybody on their feet. Pause right there. Okay, so what the audio of the news feed doesn't do justice is how loud it was in there. You see everybody on their feet. And so that's sometimes why I hate the broadcast, because the broadcast just doesn't represent the level of how much people that there were so many times during his speech that he got interrupted and it had to break up into a chant and all these other things. But even then, you can't hear how loud it is on the TV. But I would say people were on their feet like this at least 50% of the time while he was speaking. This was a really just, and I think they did this on purpose. And then after this, I want to get not only y'all's thoughts, but everyone here in the studio's thoughts as well about how we think the speech went. This is where Meemaw chants or Mamaw chants break out in the middle of a thing here. Just play it.
And my community paid the price. Now, I was lucky. Despite the closing factories and the growing addiction in towns like mine, in my life, I had a guardian angel by my side. She was an old woman who could barely walk, but she was tough as nails. I called her Mamaw, the name we hillbillies gave to our grandmothers. Mamaw raised me as her own, Mamaw raised me as my mother struggled with addiction. Mamaw was in so many ways a woman of contradiction. She loved the Lord, ladies and gentlemen. She was a woman of very deep Christian faith.
There we go.
But she also loved the F word. I'm not kidding.
Great.
Such a
She could
funny
make a
line.
sailor blush. Now, she once told me when she found out that I was spending too much time with a local kid who was known for dealing drugs, that if I ever hung out with that kid again, she would run him over with her car.
I believe it. 100%.
Nobody will ever find.
That's true.
That's what
And she said,
grandmas
JD,
do. Yeah.
no one will ever find out about it.
Boy, I got the Sheriff of Appalachia in my pocket.
Man, well, there you go. All right, so let's pause it. Later on, he talks about his grandma. They found 19
loaded guns.
handed guns
Yeah.
in her house. Okay, but I want to talk about the speech in general. So comment in the chat right now. Do you think that JD Vance killed it? Yes or no? Let's blow up the chat right now. Remember, the Trump team watches this. I mean, for all I know, Don Jr. could walk in here any second. So make sure that they see what you think. But I want to go around because I was busy, so I didn't get to hear y'all's immediate thoughts last night. So let's go around the room. Todd, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was solid. It wasn't a barn burner in any sense of the word, but public speaking 101, and me and Graham know this from our time in the military and time doing this. The goal when you're in a crowd, the number one goal is to relate to as many people as you possibly can.
That's feel the vibe of the crowd.
Exactly.
Too, yeah.
And that's the goals. And I mean, you saw him in several lights, okay? You saw him as a loving grandson. You saw him come up from the bottom all the way up to law school. You saw him as forgiving. I mean, he talked about his mother with drug addiction, and then he right there on stage. There she is.
And he praised her for 10 years sobriety,
Yeah,
and she's right there watching her son take the VP
He was
nomination.
hard and firm when he needed to be. I mean, he reached several people on several levels with one speech. So it did what needed to be done.
All right,
to my opinion.
Tony, what are your thoughts?
I think he did fairly well. Last night I was talking about how, I didn't know much about Vance. I was so focused on Noam and Rubio and everybody, Carson. I was focused on everyone else being the VP pick. Full transparency, Vance was my last. Honestly, I had almost no idea who Vance was until, I haven't read his book, I haven't seen his movie, anything like that. But yesterday what I saw was a person, a young, energized person who I think can carry the mantle after Trump's 4 years. And what I saw was somebody who's very relatable with the average American citizen. I mean, he comes from very humble beginnings. The stories he was telling about his mom and his grandma and whatnot. I mean, who can't relate to something like that? I mean, the blue collar workers, who can't relate to somebody like that has 19 guns stored around the house and whatnot. I thought that was just hilarious. And the fact that he was willing to share his family's background like that, because I have a family myself who is sometimes super embarrassing, and I wouldn't share that kind of stuff in a public forum. I'm just saying. I mean, he showed a vulnerability about himself and his family, and I appreciated that. And I just think he came off as very, very relatable. So,
all right, Royce, your thoughts as you only get 30 seconds because you shaved your beard off.
It was an accident, okay?
No.
Do you want to hear the story?
You're wasting your 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about JD. I was waiting for you to notice.
Oh, I noticed.
I knew nothing about JD Vance going into this. I also knew nothing about Mike Pence or Kamala Harris when they were first coming up. Knew nothing about it until they were running for VP. But JD Vance, the only thing I knew about him was that he wrote this book, Hillbilly Elegy.
Which is the number one trending movie on Netflix right now, by the way. If you log on to Netflix, it is in the top spot, like advertised right this second.
All I knew is that he wrote that and he said some bad things about Donald Trump. and then later, got the Trump endorsement, and they liked each other. I was confused by like what went on there, but I think last night he did a good job of showing, like these guys had already said, his professionalism, as well as his humor and his how relatable he is. And I do think that he's going to do a good job as VP. I don't know if I see him taking over the mantle, like being someone who can run after Trump. But I think he's a good running mate for now.
Well, all right. So real quick, and this is the point where we remind you to like this video, ladies and gentlemen, because now after this, we're fixing to get into the bombshell things about the Secret Service and about Joe Biden and, the fact that I was right. But either way, we're going to get into all this stuff. So remember to like this video. The more you like the video, I just hit the mic, the more people see this and the more people hear the truth. My thoughts are this. I think a lot of people were thinking for JD Vance, because he's a brilliant person. I mean, he just is. He's a brilliant guy, a lawyer, but he's also a writer. So he has no problems articulating his words. I think last night's purpose was to show a stark contrast between his upbringing and Donald Trump's upbringing. I mean, they could not be any more polar opposites, okay? Even Donald Trump is very honest. Like when he started in business, his dad gave him $1 million loan to start his business, that's who can relate to that, right? And so JD Vance's purpose last night was to relate to, because they view the real battleground states as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, well, not really Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, right? Like those are like the main three. And they need a guy that can go in and talk to union workers because he legitimately understands. It's the same thing, Todd, when we were recruiting. You didn't bring somebody that grew up in Manhattan, New York to recruit in Mississippi.
No. Well, and Don Jr. set the table because even Don Jr. said, boy from Manhattan, boy from Appalachia. So Don Jr. set the table for him right there.
Exactly. And so they intentionally did not bring fighter JD Vance out there last night.
Agreed.
They brought out, I think some people were they didn't think he messed up by any sense, but some people were kind of like, oh, okay, it was, it's a bit
soft,
calmer than I thought it was going to be. I think that was on purpose. I think that his purpose and his strategic picking was because the Trump team sees really 3 states that are up in the air that they need the most help, and who can help them win those 3 states over. And so I thought that he did well. There were moments as well where he really got to the point. And he punched it, and you could see that lawyer in him. So I think that if and when we find out who the vice president's going to be running against him, that he has to debate, and we'll get into that here in a minute, I think you'll see the lawyer come out in him and the dog come out in him. But I thought he did.
Was a little long, though. It was a tad bit long, I think. Maybe
we said that last night. It was good, but it's about 10 minutes long.
Brace yourself.
Yeah, because tonight's going to be, woo!
I've never heard President Trump. I've never heard President Trump speak for less than an hour in my life, and so we will see what happens. All right. But now we've got to get into these shocking things. And I'm going to go ahead and let's blow the chat up right now. And this is where you need to hit that share button, because this is some serious stuff that's going on. If you believe that this was an inside job, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, I'm really not. But the more we dig into this, I don't see how it can be anything but. So comment yes if you believe it was, or no if you don't, but you're wrong. Either way, let's start off with, this is a classmate of Thomas Crook. And I can't believe his last name's Crook. I mean, come on. You can't write this stuff. But either way, this is a classmate of Thomas Crook. Just listen to what he has to say. Look at the chat blowing up, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody knows. But listen to what his classmate has to say.
Brought up the fact that I'm Hispanic and, I'm for Trump. And he said, well, you're Hispanic, so shouldn't you hate Trump? And I was like, no, he's great. He's a great president. And he called me stupid, or insinuated that I was stupid. He's like, well, that's kind of stupid. If he was a know-it-all. So once again, if he was passionate about something, he would just talk, and acted like he knew everything, especially politics related. and he would say it in a tone that was like, I'm better than you, in a type of way. And, you know, meanwhile, it's like, dude, we're in the same classes. You know what I mean? We're talking about the same stuff here. And whenever it comes to politics, I mean, at the end of the day, I can agree, you can disagree, I can disagree. We're not even nothing about it now. Like, at that point, it doesn't matter.
Pause.
At that point, it's,
so the whole point
you know
of this is, you know, they put out this lie that he was like this Trump-loving Republican, and you know what they tried to do is paint this guy as like, oh, somebody that sees Trump for what he really is now, and whatever. But now his classmates are coming out and it's like, no, this dude hated Donald Trump.
Yeah,
like, you know, and literally this shooter's classmate is debunking this whole thing. No, this dude hates Donald Trump. He's hated him since the beginning across the board. And damn, Gino just walked in again. I'm just saying, here he comes again. Here he comes again.
and
also
the bully thing. He debunked the bully thing. He's like, he wasn't bullied either. He's like, I know kids. He said, I can drop names and tell you kids that were bullied. He wasn't one of them because nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Again. And so the more this comes down, the more we realize how much of a setup this is. Here is a big thing, okay? And this is the most groundbreaking thing, is that the Secret Service knew literally the day of. Like they knew. The
morning of.
There is zero reason that President Trump should have taken the stage, period, at all, the end. And what we're about to play you is the most concerning thing, in my opinion, out of all of this, is how in the world did this happen? Listen to this interview right here. Just listen. This is wild. Listen to this.
As you look at the timeline, they had spotted a guy with a rangefinder and a backpack.
Yes.
So they tag somebody, and then they locate him at 5:51. The sharpshooters are alerted at 5:53. President Trump is still allowed to go on stage. So they identify a threat.
They're aware of a threat. They know this for 7 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer, right? I guess 9 minutes. And they still let him get on that stage.
Yes.
I mean, that can't be Secret Service protocol.
Even before that, they knew there was a suspicious individual, and Senator Cornyn got the first question. Well, after Senator Schumer, Senator Cornyn got his. But here is the thing. If there is a threat.
Okay, and we'll get into more of that. So, okay, here you go. So this was the first part. All right, they knew well in advance. Okay, and as Don Jr. says right there, but they still allowed the president to get on the stage.
That clip was shot from right where you're sitting.
Yes. Yeah,
right where you are. Yeah, I can cut this up later and look like you're there.
Yes. and so anyway, but here's the even more shocking thing. Then a report comes out that Thomas Crook's family called in this thing. And isn't it funny how that's always the case? All these shootings, all these whatever, it's always, everybody knew. Like, nobody's shocked at all. And they were watching this person and everything like that. Listen to this. This is crazy.
We have just learned that the Trump rally shooter, Thomas Crook's parents, were looking for him in the hours leading up to the shooting. We're now told they eventually called law enforcement to report that Crooks was missing, and they were worried. And they also were told, those parents are now being cooperative now with authorities, but they gave them the heads up that something's going on with our son. We are worried. We don't know the texture or the details.
Okay, so this guy was being monitored, right? Like they knew about this guy. They've now gotten into his computer, and they found all this stuff of him, spending time searching, how to assassinate a president, when is the July 13th rally, like all this other kind of stuff. And now we find out that his own freaking parents,
who are both behavioral counselors registered in Pennsylvania.
Yes. And so, not knowing the context, we absolutely know the context. They know that their son is unstable, and they're calling the police, letting them know, hey, something's going on here across the board. On top of that, so the police have this kid, they have his photo, his identification, they know what he looks like. Then you've got the people that spotted the freaking guy at the Trump rally, and then they still let the president take the stage.
So Graham, aren't the Secret Service supposed to check out any credible threat, and either they knew and they're completely stupid? Well, not all of Secret Service, but the higher ups are either completely stupid or it was an inside job. Correct?
I don't know what the Secret Service protocol is per se if you get a credible threat, but I would imagine it would be very similar to our military operations when we got calls about a credible threat. And then we would assess whether or not, I don't think we're going there.
I don't think we're going today. Guys, we're going to stay here.
Is Trump able to say, no, I want to go up anyways? Is that a possibility?
From what I understand, no.
He's not at all.
When I was on a PSD team in Iraq and we had to escort like the general through the towns or whatever, for the hearts and minds of whatever, he'd meet like the local town leader and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We would get assessment reports, and if we had credible reports come in,
the answer's no.
It's bad right now. Hey, guess what, sir? I know you really want to go. I know you want to do this, but the answer's no. And I was at E4 at the time talking to
telling a
one-star.
general.
Like, the answer's no, sir. It's not going to happen. All right, but here's another thing that is crazy. Okay, and that is this stock stuff, which is wild. And these are initial reports and all this other kind of thing.
Well, really quick, I know we wanted to cover someone who showed up at the RNC.
Oh yeah, Cheadle shows up here, and I don't understand this at all. Talk about this sacrificial lamb to the wolves, man. Either way, this is a clip of her just getting, rightfully so, bombarded and blasted by GOP senators. Play the clip.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call.
This was an assassination attempt. You owe the people answers.
They are
You owe President
hammering
Trump.
that chick, dude.
Why is she here?
Go back to Garden Cheetos.
I mean, this is like the only kind of interaction.
Dude, listen.
Anyway, all right. So
the only reason she
go.
was there, the only reason she should have been there was to go kiss the ring and tell Donald Trump, I'm sorry, this was an epic failure. It will not happen again. That's the only reason.
Well, I doubt
No. I agree, but we gotta keep moving because we got to get into this Biden stuff and my thoughts of why it's breaking now. It's not that I told you it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when and why I think that all this stuff is breaking right this second. But real quick, this is the DJT stocks. Okay. Right before the assassination attempt, there were these huge shortings of the stock. Okay, look at the graph, look at the chart, all the above. Okay, and everybody was like,
explain to people what shorting means.
It basically means that you buy a bunch of stock because you know that it's going to skyrocket or whatnot, and then you turn around and you sell it super quick, right? Because you turn around like that it's
like flipping a house.
Yes, it's the same thing. Why they stopped all the GameStop things that happened a long time ago because people got wind that the GameStop stock was going to go up and they bought a bunch of it and they were selling it super quick and all this other kind of things, right? So shorting a stock is where you buy it up, it gains momentum and things like that, and then you sell it and you tank it pretty much, right? And so they're supposed to stop that kind of stuff. But either way, point is this happens right before the assassination attempt, and everybody's like, what in the world's going on? Well, what they put out this morning is even more telling to me, where now they're saying that, our bad, this was just an SEC filing error. If we can have it pulled up. There we go.
Sorry.
All right. And Todd, you're going to have to read this because I can't read it from here.
So
but
the
go for it.
SEC filing, which showed that Austin Private Wealth shorted a large number. What'd you do, Royce? That shorted a large number of shares of Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. was incorrect, and we immediately amended it as soon as we learned of the error. No client of APW holds or has ever held a put on DJT in the quantity initially reported. The correct holding was about 12 contracts or 1,200 shares, not 12 million,
okay, all right,
which
pause.
was filed in
okay.
error.
1,200 shares
Nobody believes that.
being thumbed to 12,000 shares is
Whatever.
one thing. 1,200 shares being big thumbed to 12 million shares.
Yeah.
That's
you don't
that's
accidentally hit the 0 button 4 times. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah. Let's hold that 0 button down. And so I don't believe this for one second, but we got to get into Biden here, okay? Because One, I told you, I don't believe it's a matter of if. I said it from the beginning. I think it's a matter of when. When is all this going to happen? So yesterday, and the reason I think this is strategic is because of this. Do you guys know the #1 trending thing right now in the world? It's not JD Vance. It's not anything like that. COVID. COVID is the #1 trending thing in the world right now. It's not COVID, you hick. It's COVID. Anyway, all right. So again, yesterday, before all this stuff broke out, reports started leaking. Okay, and I'm going to get into these leaks here and why these aren't these are strategic leaks in a minute. But a leak comes out from the New York Times off this interview that Nancy Pelosi wanted Biden to do, of which we have a clip, and he absolutely bombed it. Almost worse than the thing. Anyway, go back, Royce. Go back. Jumped ahead.
My bad.
Anyway, so it comes out that Biden says that he will consider dropping out if a, quote, medical condition emerged. And what happens next, you can't make it up. All these headlines come up, and then 4 hours later, four hours later, now do it. Boom. Biden tests positive for COVID. Cancels his speech across the board. Biden's had 142,000 booster shots, okay?
Yeah, for real.
The man is a walking, quote, vaccine, okay? He's a walking spike protein at this point. The man, don't just take my opinion on it. Do we have the flashback? Let's cut to the flashback where Joe Biden says, if you have the vaccine, remember when they lied to you and tried to make you put poison into your body? And now
so
cancers are like 3,000% upgrade. This is him
You
saying
won't catch COVID
if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID. Play it.
You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple, man.
Plain and simple. Okay. And then this video comes out. Okay. This video comes out of him trying to get up the stairs, which again, I'm going to put this out. Call me conspiracy hour here. Remember when it was reported that he had some kind of medical emergency and everybody was like, no, there's no medical emergency. Here's the proof. He's getting off the stairs in Delaware. And I said, hold on. I have a problem with this video because the stairs were the big stairs from the top of Air Force One, and Biden hadn't used that in about 1.5 years. Well, this video makes me believe it even more because here he is using the short stairs that the slope of these stairs would apparently get the Secret Service unable to do their jobs at this point with the slope angle of these stairs. But here's Biden looking like he's marching to the electric chair, not able to get up the stairs. You can't make this up. Play this clip. This is not slow down either. This is how long it takes to look.
He ain't got COVID. Where's his mask?
Wait. He's going to stop.
1, 2, 3,
and we still weren't even up. That's a 14-second clip for 12 steps. 12
like a
steps.
sloth, man.
He ain't got it.
He can't get up the stairs.
He ain't wearing no mask.
And then, but we're not to the conspiracy stuff yet. Well, not conspiracy. I mean, at some point, it has to be reality,
the truth.
Right?
Call it what it is. Yep.
One of Biden's 22-year-old staffers tweets out, "I'm sick," from Joe Biden's account.
No. Biden tweeted that, and then they were like, "Oh my God,
zero
oh my
chance
God."
That Joe Biden tweeted this. Joe Biden doesn't even. I don't even think he knows how to operate a phone anymore. Okay, much less.
We talked
tweet.
about this last night.
Okay, yeah. I don't think so. And then everybody fell for it, and then it's a fundraising thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But again, and then it goes from here. Here's another thing. CNN, or this is MSNBC. Joy Reid, she's not wearing her Simple Jack hairpiece today. My head movie. She's not wearing her Simple Jack headpiece. But either way, this is real. This is not a Saturday Night Live skit. This is Raggedy Ann. This is Chucky's liberal aunt, Jen Psaki. Speaking here, where they are trying to say that both Biden and Trump are elderly people, and that if Biden bounces back from this COVID diagnosis, it is essentially the same thing as being shot in the face like Donald Trump.
Boy.
This is not a joke. This is real life stuff. This is as dumb. This is why we have directions on shampoo for stupid people like this. Play the clip.
Question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation.
Look at him.
Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than
You
Trump,
gotta be kidding
to
me.
have gotten something that used to really be
Pause.
fatal to
No,
people
Joy
his
Reid.
age.
Joe Biden catching a little sniff, a little, nose is running a little bit. And I love how the doctor gave like a report for like the scientific word for what a runny nose was to make it sound like it was worse than it was. Catching the little sniffs is not the same thing as taking a bullet to the face. Like that is not even remotely. I can't believe that this is even real life. When I saw it, I hesitated even.
I thought it was
sending to
parody,
you guys, because I thought it was like, there's no way that's real. It's 100% real. These people get paid millions of dollars to mouth breathe these stupid things to you because they believe that you are stupid, but we know that you're not.
What an ignorant troll. Why do we even talk about Joy Reid on here? She's just
I got an
everything
idea.
that comes out of her mouth is just idiotic.
Joy, go do some investigative reporting. Go spend a couple weeks in Afghanistan, get shot at a few times, and then you tell me what's the difference.
Look,
Anyway, go ahead.
All this is pathetic from the left because I don't care how you call, how scientifically technical, right? You use the phrases of he's sick. Nothing compares to he's been shot.
Yeah.
I don't care how big the scientific word is versus he's been shot is much worse.
I'll take the real flu over getting shot in the face any day.
Maybe 100%. Or getting shot at, period. I'll take COVID over getting shot at.
All right. But here's the thing, and now we're getting into the real meat of this, and you need to hit the like button, you need to hit the share button. First of all, here's Van Jones again. Is Van Jones becoming a conservative? What is happening? This is him saying, basically, a bullet couldn't stop Trump, but the sniff stopped Joe Biden. Play it.
A bullet couldn't stop Trump. A virus just stopped Biden. You've got the nominees of this party getting their butts kissed. Biden's getting his butt kicked by his own party. The Democrats are
Van
coming.
Jones is going to be fired from CNN any day now at this
His butt's
point.
being kicked by his own party, including him. Like
Yes, exactly. All right, but this is why. Okay, this is why all this stuff is happening. Okay, so Pelosi convinces Biden to do another sit-down interview, and he completely bombs it. That's where the thing came out that if a medical condition pops up, he would reevaluate. But here is another clip from him. He cannot remember Lloyd Austin's name.
And I love it. The bottom left, it says Black America votes during this interview.
He cannot remember Lloyd Austin's name and refers to his Secretary of Defense as the black man. You can't make this up. This is real. Play it.
And so it's all about treating people with dignity. And it's about making sure that, look, I mean, for example, look at the heat I'm getting because I named the Secretary of Defense to a black man. I named Ketanji Brown. I mean, because of the people I've named. And so...
You know, the black man.
The black man.
The black man.
Didn't he just say treating people with dignity?
Yeah.
Right?
Then, the black man.
The black man.
Oh my God.
Dude, you can't make this up, man. You
All right,
can't.
okay.
Oh my
So all of these things are strategic, and I'm going to tell you why. One, this interview happened, and this interview got shown to a bunch of other people before it actually aired. The end. Okay. And I believe that the things that it's coming out right now because they're trying to detract from how much momentum the Trump campaign has in the RNC. That's why I'm not saying that this will happen today. But how could you take attention away from Donald Trump tonight accepting the RNC nomination? How could you take that away? Biden drops out, right? Or Biden wants to address the nation or something like that. But here's why. Here's why I think that what we're finding out is actually less, or we are behind multiple days. Okay, so here we go.
When is the DNC?
August.
The end of August.
So I said you got to wait for the big three, which was Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Nancy Pelosi. So first, yesterday, we got Adam Schiff calling for him to step down. Then Chuck Schumer calls for Biden to drop out. And I literally said in this tweet, Pelosi will be next. Okay, well, the next one was Hakeem Jeffries. And then I want to say it was CNN that broke it, that Nancy Pelosi, yeah, it was CNN, in a private conversation, Pelosi told Biden the polls show he can't beat Trump. Biden disagreed, and Pelosi actually called an expert advisor in to show him the data. You cannot win. Now, here's why I believe that we are closer to Biden dropping out than what people think we are. This meeting took place on Friday, this past Friday, and we're just now finding out about it. Okay, and so I think the decision has already been made. I think we are further along in maybe it's Kamala or whatever. I think that we are hours, if not mere days away from Biden dropping out of the race, because these conversations that broke yesterday, like it just happened today, no. They happened last week. Last week they happened, and we're just now finding out about it. Very strategically, it didn't break on Monday, didn't break on Tuesday, didn't break until midday yesterday, right before JD Vance is supposed to take his VP speech. And I would not be shocked if even bigger things break before President Trump is supposed to accept the RNC nomination today. And
But,
here's
Graham,
even further things. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but it really doesn't it really depend who he's listening to? Because even if Schumer, Pelosi, and Jeffries is showing him one thing, and Hunter and Jill are showing him another,
I
who
don't
is he
think any of
listening
that.
to?
Again, I don't think any of that's true. I think it's past that point. I think I'm telling you, Biden is done. Okay.
Well, we've already heard from Obama, right, that he also wants him to step down.
Yeah. Well, what
and
they're
he's
all
the one
saying
running the
is-
show.
No, this is what they're all saying. Okay, like the big wigs. They're all saying like we've had private, intimate conversations about what is best for the country. That is political posturing wording for get your butt out of the race or we're going to lose this whole thing, you moron, right? That's what they're really telling Joe Biden. And you have to remember, they probably got this dude locked up in a chair with an IV in his arm 90% of the time when he's off camera. Here's the other thing. And Jack Poso broke this. Intelligence in the White House and credible sources in the White House are saying that, and you can go to Jack's tweet here, that massive drama right now in the White House. Kamala advisors straight up telling Biden advisors it's time to pass the buck. And those were exact words per a White House official. This is the first direct open confrontation at a senior level. And why do I believe that this is more and more true? Okay. The Trump campaign yesterday got involved on it. And this was before all this stuff broke. The Trump campaign wrote this. Can we make it bigger here? Zoom in just a little bit. Okay. The Trump campaign's response to a vice presidential debates, quote, "We don't know who the Democrat nominee for vice president is going to be, so we can't lock in a date before their convention. To do so would be unfair to Gavin Newsom, JB, Gretchen Whitmer, or whoever Kamala Harris picks as her running mate."
That was
and
epic.
This is straight from the Trump campaign.
It's incredible.
I believe that this is already done. It's already decided because we're finding out about this stuff about almost 5-6 days later after it's actually happened. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does happen, remember you heard it here first. How do you take away from this major moment that Donald Trump has tonight? The man is a walking American iconic legend hero right this second. And he's fixing to take the stage tonight to potentially put the momentum in overdrive that can never be
The
derailed.
nail in the coffin.
How do you stop that and how do you detract from that? Biden dropping out of the race right before he's supposed to go
You
on.
say that, but I don't even see Kamala as a lateral move. I don't.
Again, it's not about. Pelosi brought up the fact, I told you, it's not about winning the presidency. I think that they know they can't win the presidency. It is about they cannot go 0 for 3. They can't lose the presidency, lose the House, lose the Senate. And Pelosi brought that up in her private meetings. If you stay in, not only are we going to lose the presidency, but we'll also lose the House. Direct quotes. Okay? So I think that they're wanting to put Kamala in, not to win the presidency, but they feel like she gives them a better chance to be competitive in the House and the Senate, at least competitive, because they can't go 0 for 3. I don't think it's about winning the presidency. I think it's about stalling out Donald Trump in the presidency.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know at this point. Who knows?
And again, I think all this is happening right now. Again, I think that we're behind 6-7 days of what's really going on. Okay, even Cory Booker was on yesterday, and they were like, so that's you saying that you're getting ready, like that's you saying, because Biden has said he's the nominee. So if there's CNN calling him out. So if you're having conversations with him, that's you guys saying that you want him to drop out. And you could tell Cory Booker's like, oh crap, she's got me, kind of thing, because that is true. Biden has said, I'm the nominee. Then why the crap are they all still having all these conversations with him unless, as it was reported way earlier,
maybe
Biden's
he
time is
keeps
up.
forgetting them. I mean, that's look,
Again,
I think you're right.
Comment in the chat. Do you think Biden has hours or days in the chat?
I
I'm curious.
think
Let's blow
Biden's
the chat up.
gone, but I'm going to will him to stay. I'm going to will him.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to will it.
And for all the people, if this comes true that Harris and whoever else, I picked Harris and Newsom to be on the ticket, but if this comes true, let's remind everybody on the left that if you do vote for Harris, let's remind them that she was in a 3-person relationship with Montel Williams and her
thruple. Call it what it is, Tony. It was Kamala Harris got her start. Google Montel Williams, Kamala Harris, and watch what pops up.
I'm just bringing it up because her decision making, even back then, which it is now, is just way out in left field.
I think
Pelosi's left field or was it genius?
Yeah, I don't think Pelosi's right. I think making a lateral, that's not a lateral move to me to Harris. I don't think Harris helps anything. Even if they make the move to Harris, they still lose all 3.
But you're thinking from a Republican lens. Their goal is to reestablish some confidence in the Democrat side. You're thinking,
I think to Todd's
you're
point,
thinking Republican here.
Well, to Todd's point, I think that, and I agree with him. I don't think Kamala establishes. I know, right?
What?
You're over here, my bad. I don't think Kamala establishes confidence in the Democrat Party either.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying,
she's kind of a rock with lips too, bro. I'm just saying.
I think they feel the same way about Kamala like they do Biden. I can't imagine they don't.
I'm not saying that it is the ultimate thing. I'm saying I think unless it is Michelle Obama, which I know Dan Bongino said it'll never happen, and you're right, is probably a long shot. I think she's the only one that can give Trump a legitimate fight. I think that they are aligned to the fact the presidency is out of reach, but they cannot go 0 for 3. And so again, we have to think about it from a Democrat lens. How do you at least try to be competitive for the House and the Senate? We know it's not Biden. They know that that's a train wreck waiting to happen, and that they're losing faith in the blind, leading the blind Democrat vote. And that's what they're counting on.
Yeah,
and again, you guys are also thinking through a morally good,
you might
biblical lens.
Yeah,
if you look at it through a demonic, evil, leprechaun lens that these people look at every day, it makes perfect sense. To do it this way.
you said weeks ago that making that change, maybe that needle pulses just enough where they can fudge a couple elections here and fudge a couple there.
Make it close enough to make some things go off.
That a whole bunch of dead people vote.
All right, comment in. This is where I remind you to hit that like button. How many? Can we go to the live count, Royce? I want to see how many people we got. I want to thank everybody for tuning in really quick.
It's quite a few.
Let's see. So we've got across
14,
all things
15.
about 15,000 people watching. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. I've got a heart out, but as yesterday, the guys are going to finish it up, and we're going to pray at the end of this thing like we always do. Make sure to hit that like button. The more that you hit the like button, the more people see this. If this is your first time watching, make sure to hit that follow button. Leave us a comment in the actual comment section. Do you think it was an inside job? Do you think that Cheadle needs to be fired immediately? Do you think that Biden is going to be on the ballot in November? We're curious. And what did you think of JD Vance's speech? Those are a lot of things for you guys to answer, but it's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. And you can call Todd an idiot on there. Don't call me an idiot. Call Todd an idiot in
I'll
the
take
comments
that. I've been
section.
called worse by better people, so let's go.
Anyway, but I'm signing out here from the RNC convention
Graham,
in Milwaukee.
before you go, I have a really big YouTube super chat.
Yeah, I was
going to
say
you should
that.
Read.
Yeah, I think you should
Okay.
read
And
this one.
they would want you to hear it too. So.
Okay, let me see. Oh my goodness, a $500 super chat. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for what you are and do. Graham, I've been a fan since the very beginning. Cool to see what you were doing in your walk with God. Proud to share your content. I will say this. Has anyone made the connection to Graham and Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State when his voice goes into rant mode? Love you guys. Yes. When I first started and I did the scream thing and everything like this, all I heard was Alan Richson's Thad Castle. And I wish to the Lord above that he wasn't this woke, just goob that he's turned out to be, because I love Reacher. I think that's a great show.
Awesome
and
show.
I loved Blue Mountain State, and I thought Thad Castle was hilarious. Yes. A lot of people made that connection, but thank you so much for your generous donation. It is not obligated, but it is very much appreciated, and you guys help keep us free on this, and we love you guys. We love this family we got going on here.
100%.
And but I got a heart out. I got to go. You guys take it, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow, and we'll recap
Friday
what
show.
happens today.
What happened
it's going to be a
tonight.
wild day
We
today.
will be live tonight, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. By the way, I'll be in the convention, but the guys are going to go live tonight to show you guys Donald Trump's acceptance speech and live commentary as well. So make sure that you tune in tonight. What time are y'all going live tonight, guys?
Probably the same time we did last
Probably,
night.
yeah, depending.
Okay.
on the
Well,
schedule.
for the many people that are on right now, just tell them again.
It was like 9:30 last night, but it might
Eastern
it might vary.
time.
9:30
Eastern time.
time.
Okay, 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central Standard Time. I don't know about Pacific time. Do your own weird math that way. All right. Anyway, all right.
believe it's
I'm out.
6:30,
Love you
so-
guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in, guys. You got it.
All right, let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and get into all of these super questions. There is quite a few. Let's start off with Miss Lovegood. She says, as I was watching, I felt hope for America that I look up to. The speech Omir's parents, which is the Americans that have the hostage that's still in Gaza right now, was my favorite part, especially when the entire crowd chanted, bring them home. She had dadgum onions. I will agree with that. It's sad at this point that we still have American hostages in Gaza, and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, and
Like,
yesterday when
nobody's talking about
when we were
it.
watching that speech, I was thinking to myself, where did all this anti-Semitism come from? They forget that there's hostages over there still being held, and they're the ones that invaded the whole thing that started the war there, and it's just I just don't understand people with this whole.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nothing they do at this point makes sense, Tony. I mean, nothing checks the good sense box. It just doesn't.
True. And I don't know why I keep getting surprised. When
Yeah,
people do
I mean,
stupid things.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
it must be the Christian in me that just,
It was
that
like
just hopes it comes
Biden did an
through.
interview this week. He did an interview where the person asked him, "Are you a Zionist?" And he goes, "Yes."
I saw
And
this,
then he spent 3 minutes talking about everything he did for Palestine. I was like, "Are you sure you know what that means? Like, are you sure?" Anyway, Pennsylvania EMT 511. Why on Rumble sometimes I join late and able to slide to the beginning, and I don't understand something. I have the option to go minus 15 seconds to hear again. In the past few days, not able to do so. Thanks.
That's not something. That's a Rumble
That's a
feature,
Rumble thing, right?
And I know a lot of people really like Rumble, but that's on YouTube. You can rewind and do that on YouTube. You might even be able to do it on Facebook, which we're also live on. But yeah, that's just a Rumble feature that's not there.
Oh. Chevy Levy. I like that name. Important question. What is Graham's view on Vance now? I remember the day you cautioned people and weren't on board with Vance. I think I can speak for him on this. We're with him simply because Trump picked him, but we're still cautious. Let's be real. We're cautious with any politician. Did Vance give a good speech last night? Yes. But remember, he was in a friendly room. Everybody that was in that building loved him. Okay. So, and at the end of the day, I'm sorry, he's still a politician. So I need to see action, not words.
Yeah. And,
that's just me.
And to touch on that a little bit, I think I am cautious as well, but because he's not a lifelong politician and because he's young and energetic, I think I see a little bright future there. I mean, not even a little, but big bright future. So.
Well, I don't disagree, but I have the same opinion with Vivek. I mean, he says all the right things, but I need to see action. I need to see some action.
I got you.
Yeah, that's just me. Ratchet, Trump's A team was pulled to cover Jill in Pittsburgh. Why did they pull Bush or Clinton's team to cover Jill? That's a good point. That Bongino talked about that yesterday. That they did pull some from Trump to go to Jill.
I mean, it all stinks. The whole situation stinks. I mean, all the stuff with the Secret Service and all the breakdown in protection there, it all stinks. It's just, I don't think we're ever going to know what really happened.
I'll say, I said this yesterday, and I'm just going to stick by this opinion with everything that's come out. Listen, I don't think that this was a premeditated, pre-planned thing. Like, I don't. Because if you're going to take the time to plan all of this stuff out weeks in advance, you put a shooter on the roof that's going to make the shot. All right, not miss it. And so I think this was pre-planned about 3 hours into it. I think somebody went, hey, there's somebody with a rangefinder.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
that's the worst case scenario for me. Worst case scenario.
Yep.
So names were all taken. I'm late to the conversation. Maybe you already answered. Why didn't Biden have a mask on Air Force One since he had COVID? I said the same thing.
Because it's fake. It's fake. They're just saying that he's sick because they're dropping little hints here and there because, like Graham's saying, that we might be hours or days away from him dropping out. So
yeah, could be.
Yep.
Randall J. Aoul. Heads need to roll over this attempted murder assassination attempt. No way in hell this wussy pulls this off without a prepared path. I agree. I agree.
Royce, you are younger than all of us here. I mean, you have young friends or whatnot. What do they think of this whole assassination attempt?
I got calls from friends while it was happening. While I'm watching the clip with my jaw on the floor, I'm getting calls from friends. Not super political friends, not anybody who's ever talked to me about politics, and they're like, Royce, are you seeing what's going on? This is insane. Like they're mad. And the next day, it was Saturday, so I went to church on Sunday, and everybody and their mom is talking to me and saying, like, can you believe what happened? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And everybody I've talked to since just agrees that regardless of who's in charge of the country and where the country's at, the idea of assassinating a president is wrong and it should be frowned upon. You shouldn't be posting videos. Luckily, because I've seen videos of people my age, young people my age, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have missed. You shouldn't be doing that. If you want to act like that, then get out of the country because you clearly don't appreciate it."
Exactly.
You need to get out of you need to get out of life. Period. I don't care if you're left or right. You need to get out of life. If you're saying you shouldn't have missed at this point, you need to get you don't belong in the human race with normal people. Like you just don't.
Yeah, if you're the kind of person that's upset or angry that a person didn't lose their life, that's not a Christian human thing to do or to feel. It's just makes me sick.
Reality, and I've talked about this too. If Joe Biden was hurt, right, it would be frowned upon. It would be if somebody hurt Joe Biden, I wouldn't sit here and be like, "Oh, he deserved it."
My bad, Randall. Randall J. All. I pronounced it wrong. Dude, I'm just a Mississippi monkey behind a microphone, man. I'm sorry.
Regardless, at the end of the day, because it's like I mentioned, the same thing happened when Trump was indicted. People from the left were even saying this is just shameful for America. If something happened to Joe Biden, if he was hurt, I'd look at it and say, hey, this is a tragedy that we've come to this. And you know what? And we've also mentioned this. When Donald Trump his life was attempted, there were no riots. There were no fires that broke out in D.C. No stores were broken into.
That's because we're the party of common sense. That's why, Royce.
We're the party of common sense, and that's why that didn't
the party
happen.
of humanity, man. Like it's just whatever.
Let's continue with the.
I'm gonna start cussing.
Super chat.
Nat Cross, the former Green Beret on Sarah Gonzalez had me very curious to see a shot trajectory chart. The shot caught on camera looks very flat. Did the shot come from SS inside the building instead of the roof? I think that's a stretch. I think that Secret Service taking the shot at Trump, for one, they wouldn't miss.
Mm-mm.
Like, I get it. Donald Trump turning his head was divine intervention. I will give you that. But if I'm on the roof, me, and I'm not a sniper, if I'm on the roof, divine intervention would not save Trump. And I'm not being anti-God or anti-Christian.
Kid who probably doesn't have.
I was a
much
better
experience.
shot when I was 20.
Sure.
Like, I'm just saying.
So I think just like and I said this before, with the JFK assassination, people are going to start disappearing. People who've seen things.
Oh, yeah, man.
They're going to start disappearing.
Oh, this is going to be like a Netflix special in a couple years, bro.
Yeah,
This is going to be.
We're never going to know what happened.
Yeah.
What a couple years, couple months. They dropped a Diddy. Netflix dropped a Diddy documentary.
No,
like
that's
week
true.
later.
That's true.
Yep.
Diane MCC 75. Y'all go hit the like button. 9K watching. Only 32 people click like. Shame on y'all. Alyssa Allen, $50. I miss you, babe. Love you. Oh,
He's not here.
Yeah.
She's talking to me.
He's not here.
She's talking to me.
Oh, okay. She's talking to Tony. Okay, that makes sense. Kiloho, about 10% of you have hit the like button. The rest of you are not true supporters or fans. When you log in, immediately hit the F word like button.
Whoa.
Kaloho, you're the goat.
Kaloho is
Cool. It's all right, dude. It's all right.
Kaloho, you're the goat.
Kaloho's a great supporter. He
huge.
He or she, I don't know if
That's
it's
a
he or
she.
she. But it's
Can
a
you,
she.
Kaloho,
Yeah,
can you spell out your name like a Wikipedia so we know exactly how to pronounce it?
It's Kiloho.
Kiloho.
Yeah,
Kiloho.
Kiloho.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yep. All right, still looking. I know I've got another one in
I
here.
have another one from YouTube if you want to read it really quick.
All right, yeah, another Kiloho for Royce. How does a smart young man like you accidentally shave your beard?
Let me find it. Let me find it. There it is. Graham didn't want to listen to the story. I told Todd the story.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty
And
dumb.
I have done this too.
Listen, guys, I've been growing out the beard for a couple of months or whatever. Not even, like, it's been like 3 weeks, okay? Growing it out. And I'm like, you know what? It's starting to grow uneven, so I'm going to trim it. So I literally ran to the store, got a trimmer, okay? And I'm trimming it, and I was done. It looked great. Everything was even. I'm like, oh, great. So I take off the guard, and I rinse it off.
Big mistake.
I take off the guard, and I'm rinsing off the trimmer. And I'm like, oh, my was it soul patch goatee, whatever you want to call it? Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's a little dark. Didn't even think about it. Just, and I'm standing there with full beard, but no
airplane
no goatee.
Runway right here.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, no, it wasn't even a runway. It was just that. Okay. And I'm like, I'm sitting there contemplating. I'm like, will people notice? Is it okay?
Oh,
Does
yeah.
it look
For
weird?
sure. 100%
And after
sure.
staring at it for a couple of minutes, I'm like, it's just got to go. There's no way. It's not going to grow back in a day. So, and then it took me a while to actually do it and commit, but I shaved it all down.
Nah, don't worry. You're young. It'll grow back.
One of the
quick.
many perks of having a family that doesn't grow facial hair, so I don't have to worry about the whole beard thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it, man. The guard is off.
I've done it. I've done it. So
gone.
I've done it. When you're not used to trimming and shaving, you can do that.
All right.
From Brandalorian 97, I saw a video that Vance and Harris agreed to debate in August. I don't think that's going to happen yet, until something is sanctified warfighter. To be fair, he made a perfect kill shot. Saying he didn't is discrediting the Lord's intervention. Remember, the head turn, he'd be dead.
That's actually an interesting point.
Yes and no. That wasn't the perfect kill shot. The perfect kill shot would have been here.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Like, would have been here. Any turn, and he'd have been dead. The side of the head right here, out of the back, that's not the perfect kill shot. And guys, listen, I'm a Christian. I'm with you. You don't have to attack me. I'm just telling you that, yes, it was 100% divine intervention that a 20-year-old that couldn't shoot was on the roof and Trump turned his head. A lot of things had to happen for that 130-yard shot to be missed. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. So
Todd,
get off me.
Before we move on, because I'm not a long range shooter, and obviously 150 yards isn't long, but I don't have a lot of experience with scopes and long range guns or whatnot. When you're trying to take a headshot or when you're hunting or whatnot, I know a lot of times you say center mass over here, but when you're going for a headshot, are you aiming for, like in your scope, you're aiming for a certain part of the head?
So the view he had was, maybe a little tilted like this, okay? So if I'm aiming here. Dead center, somewhere in this area, dead center. That way, if there is a turn, because look, the wind was reported at 5 miles per hour. That's not affecting a 5.56 50-grain bullet. Not at 130 yards. It's not moving it in any way. So if he aims center, obviously he can't shoot, because not only if he's aiming here, did he miss by this much. He missed by this much on a 130-yard shot, to where all Trump had to do was turn and he nicked his ear. So even without a scope, 130 yards, iron sights, not a hard shot. But anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Because they're getting mad at me.
Thank you for the explanation.
All I know is God's plan is perfect.
100%, the 100%, and that's all.
However, that was aligned to go down, and
probably the only person that agrees with me is Nuke. Probably the only one that agrees with me. Any others from YouTube?
Yeah, we have one more from YouTube.
Okay.
From Heather.
I have not seen this much in the media, but Corey was not only a firefighter, but serviced in the Army Reserve for 10 years. Yep. See? Told you. Nucles agrees with me.
Yep. That's all we got from YouTube.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's, before we sign off, let's pray this thing out. Father, we just thank you for another good show, Lord. We thank you for a good day and a good, safe week so far. But, Lord, we have a couple more days left in this week, and I just ask that you just don't take your hands, you don't take your protection, you don't take your angels away from Milwaukee right now, that you keep everything safe, sound, and you bring Graham and the rest of the people there home safely, that nothing pops off, because the last thing we need, Father, is for something stupid to happen in a civil war to begin in our country. But, Father, we know that all things that happen, both good and bad, happen to the will of those who serve you. So whatever your will is, help us to accept and move on. Father, we thank you. We love you. If there's any follower or listener out there that has a need or that does not know your name, that you meet that individual where you are and you meet that need, or you show that individual the love, grace, and mercy that is fresh for you every single day. Father, we love you. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, that died for our sins, and we will see you first thing in the morning. And all God's people said,
Amen. We'll see you tonight, you mean?
And
tonight too. Yeah, don't forget tonight. Okay, so
it'll probably be 9:30 Eastern. Right?
Yeah.
Because we want to catch Trump. We honestly, we might go live a little earlier, guys, to maybe get Trump walking in again.
Yeah, so if y'all log in 9:15ish, we'll probably be here. We'll more than likely we'll be here. So Royce,
see you guys.
I didn't say it because I love you. I didn't say
appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dr. Evil. Tony.
We'll see you guys tonight.
All right, and I'm Hot Seat Todd for our friend Graham Allen, reminding you to stay awake, not woke. Trust in God, not the government. And as always, stay free.